joining us today. My mission is to bring entrepreneurs and nonprofits a voice, and I'm excited to hear your voice today. Let's please welcome Jessica Bush.
I'm excited to be here.
Yay!
Thank you, Marci.
She is the owner and academic consultant of Tutor Doctor of North Jersey and Rockland. Thank you for joining us.
Great to be here. Thanks for having me.
This is awesome. So they're just going to be building our audience. I just want to make sure that it's working. There we go. Hi guys, welcome to Coffee with Marci. So happy you guys have joined us. So we're with Jessica Bush from Tutor Doctor, and she has some amazing things to share with us today.
Nice to be here. Thank you.
Thank you. So I want to hear, first of all, why Tutor Doctor is unique.
We are unique in that we are a very personalized service. We're not a center. We send our tutors to the home, one-on-one. A lot of my tutors work late nights, work Sundays. We're very customized, and the most important thing is that it's a very, very personalized service.
I love to hear that. Yeah, because every child's different, right?
Every child is different. Every child needs different type of support. Every child learns in their own learning style. And it's not a cookie cutter format that you can use for every different child.
That's great to hear. So please guys, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to ask, okay? Because she is here to talk about our children, how she can help them in a lot of different ways. So speaking of that, what makes you different?
What makes us different, I think, is me.
You definitely do.
I come to the home and meet with the student. I'm usually there about an hour and a half. If there's more than one student, sometimes I've had triplets. I'm there for maybe 2 hours, and sometimes I send the parent away. I say goodbye. And I sit with the student, and I really say, okay, let's talk. What's going on? You know, and they open up to me, they connect with me, and they really share sometimes some things that they wouldn't necessarily talk about if their parent was sitting there with them.
Right. And I can attest to this because I had Jessica come to my home and speak with both of my children, Gracie and Matthew. Thank you for doing that.
Oh, you're welcome. I love it.
And I got to tell you, I mean, Gracie especially connected with you. And one of the things she said afterwards was she learned more from you in that hour than at school or anything like that. So it was really great to hear that.
One thing that I think that I've seen with all the different families and students that I've met with over the last plus 5 years is that it's not all about academics. I mean, academics is of course what I'm here for, and what I'm here ultimately to help their grades go up, them to succeed. But there's so many factors, especially when you come into the home, there's so many factors that you see that play into what's going on in school.
Right. Social
pressures, stress or pressures academically. You can name a million things. Maybe there's a divorce in the family.
Yeah, that would affect
Maybe
it.
a family member is sick. I mean, all these different elements affect the kids.
Right. Right. And so you're able to assess that and then put together like a program. You match a tutor. You have a plethora of tutors, right? How many? You have like 40 or
40
so?
plus tutors that work with me, and I'm always interviewing tutors. I try to interview at least 2+ tutors or more a week. Okay. Because it's always changing. Right. You know, you always need that special tutor for something. Right. Like organic chemistry. Ooh.
I think
last summer.
I'm approaching that, because I have my son going into high school.
Last summer we actually tutored a Montclair state girl who had to get through organic chemistry in a summer, which was unbelievable.
Wow, that's incredible.
Well, you need help sometimes.
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I think all of our children could use some help in some way. And I like the fact that you take note of the psychological side of it along with the academic side of it. So.
Well, if those of you that know me, I mean, the two most important things to me are creativity and emotional health. And I think those are areas that sometimes I know that they're sometimes overlooked in education these days. And I think that emotional health is something that is really, really important to our students, because especially in this area, we all know there's a lot of stress and
Yeah.
pressure
Yeah, there is.
to succeed.
Absolutely. So one of the things I wanted to ask you, what do you bring to the business that is special and that you want to share with the world?
I think that along with matching a tutor that of course academically can help the student in the best possible way. By the way, we keep one tutor. That tutor becomes your student's learning coach.
Wonderful.
So we're not switching out tutors and changing, and because once we get involved with a student, and our goal is to help their grades increase and to help them feel more confident and self-assured.
Right.
What do I bring that's special? I feel as though we're finding a niche right now in Bergen County area. We are not, especially when we do test prep or college readiness, which is something that I wanted to talk about.
We are going to talk about those things.
I think that it's really important to focus that sort of thing on where the student is at. We're not necessarily going to we're not the type of business where you put the student into a very intensive test prep boot camp.
Yeah.
And with 10 other students and 4 to 6 hours a day.
Right.
That's not the type of student that comes to us.
Okay.
Now that's not to say we don't have seriously high performing students, but a lot of them either have done the boot camp and then want to laser focus their test prep on that area to maybe get them the perfect score.
Right, because you had talked about that. So I guess we can segue into the college prep now. But one of the things that you had said is, let's say they take their SAT, they've done the boot camp, then they do some more tutoring, but they don't get a change in the test score.
Some students don't.
Right. And so that's where you're talking about the laser focus. Where do we really need to
because what I do is usually when I come in for a consultation to a family that's already, a student that's already done an SAT or an ACT, is I want to see the progression of their test scores.
Yeah.
I want to see where they've done, what type of prep that they had, and where we need to really laser focus.
Right.
Say their specific areas of geometry or where they're struggling. We need to laser focus on those particular parts of geometry to help them build their score.
Of course. So college prep, let's talk about that.
College prep?
Yeah, because that's
big time.
Big time. I mean, and I know it starts really early for a lot of families, right? I mean, I know that when I started, I think junior year is when I started, but now it's like
it's earlier.
9th grade, you're like already talking about it.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So, why don't you talk
It was
to us?
really interesting because last night I was at Bergen Academy's college fair.
Yeah.
We're always there and we're welcome there and I'm really grateful for that. But it was really interesting because one of the key questions that I had from the parents was, how early do we start test prep? She says, I'm getting a lot of different answers from a lot of different people.
Right.
What I've seen in my experience is one of the best times to start test prep is the summer between sophomore and junior year.
Okay. That's great to know.
So in sophomore year, usually the student is taking the PSAT.
Yeah.
So the PSAT is a great baseline. So you see where, but they're sophomores.
Yeah.
They haven't had Algebra 2, a lot of them.
Right.
So you can't expect, unless they're a very high achieving student, you can't expect their math score to be astronomical.
Right.
But there are students that have, I did meet some last night, that are in the 1500s as a sophomore.
Wow.
But that's an exception.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about Bergen Academy.
Yeah.
But if you take the summer between sophomore and junior year, this way, if they prepare in that summer and you want to give them a jump start on test prep, they can take a fall SAT or ACT just as a benchmark. Okay. Just not as a heavy, oh my God, this is their last. No, it's a beginning.
Right.
It's a beginning.
How would they even do that? How does that happen?
They have to go on. You have to sign up. You can sign up through either the collegeboard.org for SAT or act.org for ACT, and you create your student profile. Okay. Typically, you want the student to do that, though. Okay. You don't want the parent. You as the parents, you don't. I know. You gotta let them
out of it, right? When am I going to learn that? I'm going to be honest.
Let them set up their own thing.
Yeah. I mean, I know I'm just hurting my 8th grader because the independence is really important, especially going into high school.
It's something that I see, and sometimes depending on how close I am, to the parent, I'll say, can you go in the other room and back off a little bit? But I know the parent. Or once they establish that relationship with their tutor, the tutor then tells them, and we have a student right now actually, and we've had to tell the mom, just leave him be. Right. Or let him let him learn to organize his backpack. This is a middle schooler. We have middle schoolers, we know. Let him learn to organize his backpack and do his planner on his own. If that's a challenge for him, which a lot of middle school boys are, we can help with that. Yes. And those executive function skills, we can help with that. Right.
And I want to talk about that, but I don't want to get off track because I want to stay with the college prep right now. So if they take that test, that's their benchmark. Then from there, do you start tutoring or coaching, or
we could?
Okay.
Or we could start in the summer.
Yeah.
It's. I look at it as blocks almost. You work toward one test. We set a goal. Yeah. We set a goal to work toward the benchmark. Say, for example. Then you get their scores, you see what they get, and then let's see where we're at, and where do we want to be for the next test. Right. To me, it's a series of at least 2 tests. Yeah. Sometimes, though, I have seen where they test so much, they kind of reach a plateau, and it's very hard sometimes to get to the next level. They almost get prepped out. Okay. I had a mom in Ridgewood that, she wanted a daughter to take 4, and I said, sometimes we've worked so hard with her. Yeah. And she was just so done. You have to sometimes accept with certain students that that's where they're going to be. Right. Well, true. That's where they're going to be.
Right, because we're always pushing our kids, and sometimes, you don't ever want to say, I'm not going to continue to push my kids, but also we, as parents, need to accept who our children are, right? Yeah. So I know with the college prep, so you do the college prep, you help with the, also with the papers, the thesis.
We can help with the essays.
Yeah, absolutely. The essay.
The other thing I wanted to talk about was the PSAT.
Well, that's what I want to ask you about, all the standardized testing. Yeah. And talk about that a little bit.
Well, of course, there's the PARCC test that a lot of us all know and love.
My son's doing right now.
To public school. We can definitely help. There's PARCC test material out there now, workbooks and whatnot from 3rd and 4th grade up. Wow. Which are great. Okay. But PSATs, typically, I've seen it in all different schools. A lot of times, it's funny because some schools, they take it in sophomore year and then junior year is optional. Sometimes sophomore year is optional and junior year is taken. Okay. My whole thing is if they can take it both times, let them take it both times. Right. Because it's good experience and to prepare them for SAT or ACT. Right. By the way, I'm a big fan of the ACT, just putting it out there. Okay. But this is part of what I do when I come into the home for a test prep consultation. We sit there and I teach you, I advise you about the different tests, the new SAT and the ACT, what the differences are, and we have a free diagnostic, 1-hour diagnostic, which is a little mini SAT and a little mini ACT, and we can give it to the student and see which questions they feel more strongly about.
Wow, that's incredible.
And then I score it and I make a determination which test. Right. Now, some parents want them to take both tests.
Now, if you take both tests, tell me what happens.
There's different philosophies, okay? And some parents may not agree with me, but that's okay, because I know guidance counselors are advising both different ways. And last night when I was standing next to Princeton Review, she was pushing these very high achieving students to take both tests. Okay. I have mixed feelings about that, personally. Okay. I think if you have a student who has test anxiety, and a high anxiety overtaking especially standardized tests, I think that I don't think you need to put your student through that. Okay. Preparing for these tests is extremely rigorous and grueling. A lot of students do not like it. Right. Some students are great at it and they excel, and that's a different type of a student. But for the student that gets test anxiety, it's agonizing.
Yeah, and we can all attest to there are those that are good at standardized tests and some that are not.
That are not.
And it doesn't mean that they don't know. They just, like you're talking about,
that they're not smart.
Right.
Because they could have a 4.0
Yes.
GPA and they could not excel in their standardized testing
Right.
because they get anxious about it.
Right.
And that is a real serious issue that's going on right now.
Well, good. So they'll have you to talk to.
I'm very sensitive to that.
I love the fact that you have the 2 tests, so you can recommend,
Yep.
right? Recommend either one. I also want to talk about, so we've discussed the college prep, you help with that, the standardized testing, and then also each subject. I mean, like what grade do you start in? What grade do you suggest? When do you need a tutor? Like,
well, I'll give you a couple of little stories.
Okay.
So this past summer we started with a 4.5-year-old. She was going into kindergarten in September, and she was a twin. She is a twin, and her sister was excelling with her numbers and her alphabet, and she wasn't.
Yeah.
She wasn't, and who knows? Maybe she wasn't getting as much praise. Who knows? And she was becoming a behavioral problem. So literally, we worked with her in the month of August.
Okay.
On her numbers and her letters. Gave her the one-on-one attention and the praise, and played fun learning games, and she learned them.
Yeah.
Became proud of herself and self-confident, and both of them started kindergarten and are doing great.
So much of it is the confidence.
Absolutely, especially at that age. One little tiny thing that happens can affect them so
absolutely
positively or negatively.
Right, exactly.
So that was a great story. So 4.5. I mean, I had a mom come to me once with a 2.5-year-old.
Oh my!
And I basically said to her, well, we had decided that we think she should wait, but this is a little girl that all day long was with a nanny that wasn't speaking English, so she was learning Spanish.
Okay. Wow.
Her mom and dad worked their butts off and were away all day.
Yeah.
So we waited, and it was
for
a
her
little
to start
early.
preschool. Okay.
Yeah, it was a little early, but we've worked with adults that older people that want to go back and get their GEDs.
Wow, that's fantastic.
If you want to learn QuickBooks.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
If you want to learn QuickBooks, or if you want to learn advanced Excel,
right?
Or if you're going back to school as an older person, and need help with math.
Yeah.
Or I had a guy a couple years ago who needed to he had an in on the Iron Workers Union, and he wanted to take he had to take the Iron Worker has an exam, which they don't tell people because it's very hush-hush. But we helped him prepare for the Iron Workers, and it was a lot of math. But basic fractions, decimals, measurements.
Right.
You think about it, you're up there.
Yeah.
You got to measure things.
Exactly. Exactly.
So,
one of the things I also want to talk about is when you met with my children, the Common Core is what is taught in the schools, and they move at a very accelerated rate. And so if they're not getting one of those building blocks, then it creates problems later on.
Yes.
And they never go back and readdress it. It's as if the teachers also don't even have time to go over what they've gotten wrong on the test or anything.
They don't have the time.
Right, so you were talking about the fact that you help with that. You go back and you go forward.
Yeah, and I see our service as more than just a homework prep. I think that that's really, really important, because if you, as parents, have students that are in the public schools, you know what's going on out there, and the teachers are frustrated because they have to move so quickly through the curriculum.
Yeah.
And they have to prepare for the PARCC testing. And if your student, every time I go into a household, I say, so does your teacher go back and go over the test?
Right.
And there's no time. So what the teacher does is they say, does anyone have any questions? What 6th grader is going to say, excuse me.
Yeah.
I don't understand, question number. Are they going to do that?
Right.
More than likely not.
Right.
Because they don't want to be singled out as thinking,
of course,
wow, that kid's not dumb.
And everybody wants to ask the question, but
they don't.
Right.
Exactly. So that's what happens. So when I come in and I look at old tests and quizzes, which I think is really important.
Oh, that's one of the things you said I want to make sure that I share.
Really important.
Keep your tests for the year.
Don't let your kids throw them away.
Yes. So you can go back and look at them and how they were doing.
Especially if your student has a C.
Yeah.
Or a D.
Mm-hmm.
We need to go back and see what they're getting wrong.
Right.
Because they're not going, 9
you
times out of 10.
You gotta go back, not start where they are.
You gotta go back and rebuild. You
Right.
have to rebuild.
Right.
Especially if they have midterms and finals.
Yeah. Exactly. How do you know?
How do you know?
How can you help? The other thing, and you had mentioned this earlier, was about organization. That's one of the biggest things with my son. He's actually gotten better, but organization he's not so great at it. Mm-hmm. And he's going to be going into high school. And we were talking about, they're still kind of coddled in the middle school.
Yeah.
And now they've got to go into high school and everything is on them.
It's a different story.
And you really recommended the organization and also the planning. Yeah.
They have to learn, well, we call it a bunch of different things, but we have an academic game plan to help them with executive function skills.
Yeah.
That's what it really is executive function.
Right.
And a lot of it is just a maturity level.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it is that they've never really been taught or know how. And there's so many papers, and now a lot of them are working on their Chromebooks.
Yes.
And that's a whole other thing we can talk about.
Right.
But it's working on the Chromebooks. Some kids are good at it, and some kids are not.
Right.
They're not good at it.
Yeah.
But keeping their papers together, keeping themselves organized. This teacher wants this notebook, and this teacher wants a binder, and what helps them with their create a system that works for them.
Right.
So that's something that we can do.
Yeah.
Some kids are visual learners. They may need a big whiteboard with different color codes, where their sports are yellow and their math is red and their science is green and their tests are bright orange or something. Yeah. So that they can visually see and we can help them learn how to plan. Mm-hmm. This way, when they get to high school, they're so much ahead of the game.
Right.
And college is a breeze.
And I don't think,
as much
is
as
it ever a breeze?
More of a breeze than
exactly. But preparation and organization are so important. They're vital.
They don't want to listen to parents.
No, they don't want to listen to us. I swear, every time I even try to help my daughter with something, we end up going like this.
Of course.
Yeah. And it makes me feel better when I talk to other parents and they say the same thing.
I want to just tell one more success story.
Yes.
We started with this one girl. I think it's maybe 7th grade, and this is exactly what we were teaching her was how to manage her time, how to take notes, how to study.
That's hard.
It all kind of goes together.
Yeah.
Note taking, study skills, organization, time management. So we worked with her for that 1 year, focusing mostly on history, because history is a lot of note taking and a lot of reading and a lot of memorizing and study cards and all that kind of thing. We worked with her that year. She really learned the skill.
Yeah.
Then I heard from the mom again when she was getting ready for test prep. And long story short, the mom said to me that because what she learned that 1 year literally carried her through high school.
Carried her through.
Carried her through high school.
Absolutely.
And the skills that she learned helped her to be successful. And she was just accepted at the college, her #1 college.
That is wonderful. Yay!
Yeah. So that was a success story, and we helped her with her test prep.
Yes, so success
But that's what it's about. It's about the relationship. That's what I'm about. I'm about connecting with the family so that when you need someone, you come to me, and we can manage your family's tutoring needs.
Well,
no matter what it is.
I can attest to it. You really did connect, and you listen to the kids, you listen to the parents, and I like that, sometimes you have to say, I need a little time alone with your kids so you can hear from them what their needs are.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think it's very important.
Is there anything that you want to leave us with?
Yeah, I think last night when I left Bergen Academies and then I went to another event, which was phenomenal, I realized that us as parents, and I'm one of them, you know, I have a high school student, we really need to think about what's best for them and where they're at. You know, look at what type of a person is this little person that we've created, you know? Is this the type of person that is going to become a doctor in reality? You know, what are the passions that this person has? That this little, you know, what does she or he love to do? And that's a question that I ask when I go. You know, what do you love outside of school? What do you love to do? Yeah. And I think those things are important for them to have time in their day to play an instrument, or sing, or draw, or find a passion outside of computer games. Yes. You know, and it's hard because we're all working hard. We're not home all the time. Right. You know, the kids come home and they have a chunk of time by themselves, and it's really, really a challenge. But I see so many students out there that are very stressed, very stressed. And it's an epidemic right now here. And we need to really think about that. Right. You know, we really need to think about that when we're pushing our kids to excel and succeed. Right. And they're seeing what we're going through too, and that really affects them. Right. So whatever mindfulness and I don't know, a lot of people say, you know, are we going to all say kumbaya? But whatever mindfulness that we can teach our kids to learn how to de-stress and, you know, breathe deeply, and focus on something that you can envision that helps you to relax, I think is really important. Yeah. It's funny, even, I'm sorry, my daughter, there's just some sort of thing that like, I don't even remember what it's called, but she wants some kind of goo that she can like a stress reliever. Exactly. And how old is she? She's 10, 11. She's 10. 11. And she's already feeling that. Absolutely. Yeah, and I see more and more of it, and I really try to look for tutors that are very sensitive, compassionate, empathetic, patient. That's what you need to deal with this. And of course, be on top of their grades. Right. You know, but also be supportive and help them to rebuild or go ahead. You know, this summer we're actually offering some Jumpstart, very high level Jumpstart, intensive kind of classes. That's for those students that are taking like AP Calculus, AP Bio, AP Physics this summer, this coming fall. So let's close with that. First of all, how they can reach you, and a couple of programs or how it is incentives to reach out to you to help their children at whatever level they're at. Well, I give a free consultation, like I said. I'm there for probably at least an hour and a half usually, an hour and a half. We have the free ACT and SAT diagnostic test, which the best way to get a hold of me is to email me or call my number, and you will go right into our center that can book a consultation with me. But if you want to directly get to me, the best way is to email me. Okay. All right, wonderful. And we have your website up there. And or you could put right on my website, there's a lead page where you put in your information with a question, comes directly to me. Okay. Well, thank you so much for being on. You have shared so much valuable information. I hope that everything that I've shared has been impactful to you. Absolutely. I love what I do, and it sort of brings together my passion. Yeah, well, it comes out. It really does, and I really appreciate it. And you're making a difference for people, and I think a lot of us parents kind of struggle as to what to do, when to help, when not to help, and it sounds like you can guide us in that. And if you want to see some reviews, if you go on my Facebook page, Tutor Doctor of North Jersey and Rockland, there are some testimonials on there Also on my website, if you go on to reviews on the top, you can see those are all local families' testimonials.
Wonderful. And I'll be one of those testimonials soon.
Thanks, Marci.
Thank you, Jessica.
Thank you all.
Thank you all for joining, and we'll see you on Monday with Parisi's Speed School. Okay? Have a great weekend.